Hey everyone, welcome to Life in Full Send, Athletes Reimagined, the podcast where we discuss the experience of redefining life after being an athlete. I am your host, Liz Hall, an athlete integration specialist and your teammate in navigating that question, what comes after sports? Each week I sit down with former athletes who have faced that very question and share their story about how they navigated the transition. Quickly, be sure to subscribe and share the pod so you can catch all the stories. This week's episode features Shauna Griffiths, former University of Michigan basketball player turned branding expert in the world of sports, building campaigns for Nike, the NBA Development League, and I worked with her as we were rebranding the Brooklyn Nets before their move to Brooklyn from Jersey. We chat about how basketball was a sense of escape and how reinvention becomes possible after the game ends. Let's get into it. What did you have to unlearn about success, toughness, or self-worth?
I think it was more about shifting of priorities and shifting of my sense of self and being able to stand on my own. There's been times in my life where my gut, my instinct is saying something needs to shift here. So that ability to continue to put in reps, practice, learn, observe, be coachable, those were things that actually kind of this ironic way led me to leaving, which then led me to that identity crisis. But it was because I was seeing other people who I admired go on and do different things and add more tools to their toolbox and then actually elevate their game, so to say. And I know I'm using all this language, but it really is because, I have the Leadership Athlete and Leadership as a Sport platform that I speak about a lot. And because, again, we have this ability to play the game of leadership in life, leadership on the court. As leadership athletes, we're leading ourselves first. We're understanding who we are. And we're always trying to get ourselves to the next level, to evolve our game, to be better than ever yesterday. I had little inklings of that, those thoughts, those feelings at that time. I think it was about like learning to trust those things, learning to have courage and jump. And a lot of times I talk about sometimes you have to jump and build your wings on the way down type thing. I just made the decision that I thought was the right thing to do. But it's really hard, And so I think just having the courage to do that and unlearning hang-ups about, well, I need to stay safe. I need to, like nobody's helping me along the way per se. So I need to sort of be quiet and do the right things and all of that and what's expected or that kind of thing. And just, so I had to a bit of disrupt those things and really tune into something that is like kind of hard to grasp is that your gut is telling you need to move. You need to do something else. You need to innovate. And that's always driven me. My friend Megan Myers recently said to me that she admired how I have reinvented myself over time. I just do it. To me, it's like survival. It's the only way that I know how to survive and thrive is to continue to push beyond discomfort and find another way. Finding a way to win with purpose. So it wasn't until I actually left the Nets that I realized that my identity was so tied up in, it wasn't that I thought I was playing anymore, but I still felt that sense of belonging and team. So when I actually stepped away and I went to work from the agency side, the floor dropped beneath me. I went to introduce myself to someone one day and I could no longer say, I'm Shauna and I'm a basketball player. I'm Shauna and I work in basketball. I work in the NBA. I wasn't bragging. I was truly speaking to what I believed my identity was that I felt comfortable in. And I didn't even know what to do. I literally was like, I'm shocked. I didn't even know how to finish the sentence when I tried to introduce myself to someone. And so it was very, very difficult. I felt very alone. I didn't know how to speak about it. It wasn't part of everybody's conversation, but I was in a world of hurt and didn't know how to speak about it. And so that's where I think I had to actually a bit of hit rock bottom in that to figure out that the answer of who I am is within me. This is part of what fuels me so much in the work that I do and why I talk about learning and growing and evolving is the answers don't come from someone else. Your identity doesn't come from belonging to a team, those kind of things. You want to find out who you are authentically. That's self-discovery. That's observation of self. That's meaning when something happens, how does it land with you? If you start to react in a certain way, can you pause and almost observe your thoughts before they come out of your mouth? Observe that your impulse and then do some self-regulation there. But that's where you really figure out who you are, how you tick. And I got really into yoga. I started teaching yoga. I did a lot of things. I did a lot of therapy, read books, did a lot of things to try to figure out who I am, and because a lot of that's rooted in what matters to you. And the reality is those values that I had as an athlete and that I brought into the work that I was doing in sports were still the same values. It was more that I just needed to figure out how did I translate them or transform them and myself as I moved forward. I believe firmly that we have the opportunity to call it rebrand ourselves or reinvent ourselves as many times as we want to along the journey of becoming who we're meant to be. And again, that comes along the way with a lot of self-exploration, observation, figuring out your value, your priorities will shift over time. Those are all important because then you can look at things like transitions in your life as part of the journey and how do you live and grow and evolve through it, rather than thinking, well, I'm no longer doing this, so I'm worthless now. I don't have value anymore.
So when we ask, is it serving me? We can go deeper into that. Is it serving my comfort? Is it serving my familiarity?
Great
and
points.
Therefore I feel safe.
Yeah.
But we're not here to be safe. Tony Robbins says, if you want security, go to jail. Try something. It's going to be clunky. Any new thing we do, just like when we did new drills, any new drill, it felt clunky. You weren't confident. It would be foolish if I were confident on my first podcast. I'm still not. I know. I know what I am and I know what I'm not. Anything new is uncomfortable. It's just this moving through that discomfort, just like you said, keep going. Keep going. Because it's at some point, there's a breaking point. There's a tipping point to where it becomes, okay, this is less awkward.
Yeah.
And then you start to craft it.
Yeah, it's a great point to bring up also as people are thinking about their career journeys or these moments in their lives that change, because I think that it's easier for us to apply this thought of when I try something new, it's hard when we're younger, when we're earlier in our journeys. And then I think we tend to get fooled into thinking, well, I'm 40 whatever years old, I'm 50 something years old, whatever the number is. And you're like, oh, I've reached this title and I've done all these things. So the next thing I try, it's going to be great. It's going to be easy. I'm just going to slide right in there. Part of what I do is consulting. I still do coaching and leadership coaching. And it is one of the biggest things that people almost get surprised that when they're starting something new, there's that learning curve. And totally. It's just the reality of saying to yourself, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be learning along the way. I'm going to learn, even if it's the same role, even if you're doing similar things, it's a different environment. There's different characters around you. And there's newness there, being coachable, shifting your game a little bit, all those type of things. Have I had clients? Have I done contracts? All those things? Yes, for years. But when you're doing it again new, it's painful and you get tripped up on little things. And that I always remind myself is that, and I can breathe because now I've done that. And here's the thing, it's about learning. I said earlier, learning, growing, and evolving. So what didn't go well? What did go well? How do you learn from that? Then how do you shift it the next time you approach it so that it's not just sort of that copy, paste, repeat over and over and over again, right? That's not the game of evolution. That's a game of oftentimes mediocrity, which isn't where I want to be. For me, the thing that drives me so much is, and I say this to people, is about wanting to leave meaningful footprints in this world. And it's just wanting to live with meaning and purpose.
Shauna, you're such a gift to me and the world. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your heart with us today. If this inspired you, please share it with a fellow athlete or friend navigating their next chapter, because we're all just writing our playbooks as we go. Next week, we have a guest who owns the record for the shortest mic drop clip I have ever made for this podcast. Incredible therapist, author, and friend. I am so excited for this one. Don't miss it. Until next time, please remember, the game ends, but the story doesn't. Keep living life in full send.